What's going on, YouTube? This is your dude, Intergalactic Brew. Here to give you my UFC on Fox 2. At least that's what I call it. Coming at you this Saturday from Nashville, Tennessee. Okay. I think it's at 8 or 9 o'clock. I'm not sure what the time slot for that will be, but I'm sure I'll probably find out on Friday. Yeah, this is another cool thing. UFC or just MMA period on a Friday. That's awesome. That is truly awesome. I think the UFC is really stepped up their level of organization ever since moving to Fox. I mean, just treating us, with these Friday night, end of the week type of events. I mean, looking at the Overeem Brock Lesnar fight, that was a treat on a Friday night. This will obviously be another one, and I like it. I really like it. So UFC, keep up the good work. Y'all are really taking it to another level. Well, anyway, whatever. Let's just get into the card. Let's do that. First fight I want to talk about is Pat Barry versus Christian Morecraft. I'm going to the main card. Patrick Barry, of course, we know his situation. He's been probably the most inconsistent UFC fighter in a long time. Or recently. I'm not going to say in a long time. No disrespect, Pat Barry. I'm sorry. Because I actually do like Pat Barry. I think he's a real charismatic guy. And he's a damn good fighter. But, I just feel like his lack of inconsistency, or his lack of consistency, I should say. Dang, I'm jumbling up my words here. Okay, let me get my shit together. Okay. His lack of consistency has not impressed me in the past few months compared to when he first came to the UFC. And he's been the most inconsistent competitor on the UFC roster, in my opinion. So, I feel that this fight is really going to tell if Pat Barry is complacent and satisfied where he is, or does he want to evolve and become an eventual contender for the UFC Heavyweight Championship. That's basically from this fight and on, if he wins, is going to show. And the guy he's facing, he may not be the best in competition, but he's pretty solid. He's got some decent victories over his last few fights, and that is Christian Morecraft. Now, of course, Christian Morecraft will go down in UFC history as the guy that almost beat Stefan Struve, but got beat by Stefan Struve in a thrilling comeback victory at UFC 117 in 2010. So, Christian Morecraft, I think he has something to prove here too. I mean, like I just mentioned, his last few fights, they've all been good wins, but I don't think he's really gotten that solid, significant victory yet to solidify him as a true prospect in the heavyweight division. And I think a win over Pat Barry will do just that. So, yeah, I think both guys have got a lot riding on them here. As for Pat Barry, he really needs to come out and win this fight impressively, and I think early, as does Morecraft. So basically what we might be looking at here is a stand-up fight, which is good. I mean, it's a fight that I wouldn't mind seeing. But I think for Pat Barry, like I said a few minutes ago, I think he needs to evolve and needs to become more well-rounded. And hopefully for this training camp, he's been working with different sparring partners with different types of skills, whether it be grappling, or whether it be just on speed and head movement, and teaching him how to put pressure on the opponent, you know, just all the aspects of mixed martial arts. I hope that Pat Barry has been working on those in practice this week, but we will see Friday night. So basically, just looking at the fight itself, Pat Barry needs to try and put pressure on Christian Morecraft, because Pat Barry is a fairly fast guy. He's got good speed, but he's not got like the speed of a Cain Velasquez or a Brock Lesnar or a Junior Dos Santos per se. But I mean, for the quickness he does have, it's effective. And perhaps he could generate that quickness into his strikes. Not, laying back so much, going in for the kill from the get-go. I know one thing that will definitely come into play for Pat Barry in this fight will be for him to use his leg kicks, because I believe Morecraft is going to be a lot taller and a lot bigger and stronger than Barry is. So definitely Barry will need to use those swift kicks that he does to wear Morecraft down and take some of his movement away. And I think that as far as the punches go, I think he needs to land a lot of combinations, more so maybe to the body than the head, because Morecraft more than likely will have the reach advantage here. So I think that Barry needs to go after the legs so that he could, like I say, take away the movement, and then slowly but surely work his way up to the chin. And I think if Barry does that, I think he will win this fight and win it early. On Morecraft's side of things, it's real simple. Take Barry down, control him, look for a submission, and you got him. Stefan Struve did it. Tim Hague did it. The blueprint or strategy is right there in front of you. Now, if Morecraft decides to stand with Pat Barry, well, he's just going to relive that same nightmare that he did with Stefan Struve. And we all know that Morecraft's chin is pretty breakable. So I would suggest that Morecraft try to ground Barry and submit him. But my prediction is I think that Barry will be able to land those leg kicks, and I think he will be able to take the legs away from Morecraft, and I can see Barry moving in rapidly with the pressure, and I can see him landing combinations and eventually dropping Christian Morecraft and getting a TKO here. So I'm going to go with Pat Barry. It'll be interesting to see if Pat Barry does get taken down, if he has evolved his skills and learned something on the ground, and probably he might surprise us and submit Morecraft. Who knows? But if I was a betting man, I'd bet on a knockout. So like I said, I'm going to go with a TKO here. It'll happen between the first and the second round, maybe. But I'm going with Pat Barry. Okay, next fight, I'm going to kind of wiggle my way around here a little bit. I want to talk about Dwayne Bane Ludwig, if I can say his name, versus Josh the Dentist Neer. Great fight. Great fight. I think these two guys' styles are very similar. I'd probably say the only difference between the two competitors is probably personalities. Dwayne Ludwig is the more classy, you know, easygoing individual, as I could say less about Josh Neer, who's more of the brash, aggressive, in-your-face, Nate Diaz, Nick Diaz type guy. So there definitely be some trash talking, I think, from Neer, no doubt. And you know, we'll see if that'll either motivate um, Bane Ludwig or it'll phase him. So there you go. But I think this fight might be fight of the night. I think I just got a sinking feeling about this one because like I said, both of these guys, similar skill sets, match up well, and both of these men can win the fight anywhere. I mean, Ludwig might not be a polished BJJ black belt, but he does have some good submissions. Josh Neer, on the other hand, is a polished grappler, but he also can strike and knock you out too. So that's a plus for Neer. But I can see this being an all-out battle. I could see this going down to the very last round, and I got a feeling that we're going to have a decision here. Even though on paper it may seem like this fight could end early, but I think with both these men having similar skill sets, and both men being extremely tough and having good condition and can go the distance, I think that this fight is going to go the distance. Now, hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully one of these guys will be able to win the fight. Win the fight early. But I don't know. I just see it going to decision for some reason, and I think the guy that's going to win the decision is I'm gonna go with Dwayne Ludwig here. I mean, Josh Neer, yeah, he's a tough guy, and he's been in there, with some top competition, with some top skills, but I don't think he's never been in the octagon with a fighter with the skill level of Dwayne Ludwig. So I think that I don't know. I just think that Ludwig, with his striking background in Muay Thai, I think he's going to be able to pick Josh Neer apart. I know that sounds funny because Josh Neer is a tough guy, but I could just see him picking him apart for some reason. Using the kicks and mixing it up with the punches and elbows and all the little flashy stuff that he likes to do. Now, Josh Neer probably might be the better boxer, sort of like the Donald Cerrone, Nate Diaz type of feel. But I don't know. I could just see him. I could just see him outstriking Josh Neer, and I think that will win him over the fight. Now, if the fight hits the ground and Ludwig's on his back, the fight could go in the favor of Josh Neer, because like I said, Neer is a very good grappler himself. But I think that Ludwig, for some reason, is just going to pull it out. I just think he's going to be a lot more intelligent and, and just outsmart Neer in the fight. So I'm going to go with Bane Ludwig here, but Josh Neer has all the chance in the world, and I would not be shocked at all if he walked away with this fight. But I just got a good feeling about Ludwig here, so that's what I'm going with. Okay, I'm going to get this fight out the way. Marvin Easton versus Jared Papazian, if I'm saying that right. I don't know if I am, but anyway, that's how I'm going to pronounce it. But really, to tell you the truth, I have no clue about these two guys. I wouldn't know them from sunrise to sunset. So basically, I'm just gonna go with a wild guess here, and I'll just say that Mike Easton will probably win the fight. I've heard a lot about him. I heard he's a really good striker, and I hear he trains with a lot of solid people. So I'm just gonna base my analogy off that. So I'll go with Mike Easton, and I guess I'll say by TKO. I guess. All right. Well, yeah. But okay. Anyway. Oh, and by the way, Bane Ludwig and Josh Neer, that is the co-main event. Just to let y'all know. I forgot to mention that earlier, so my apologies. And then, of course, the main event of the night. This is another awesome fight, and another fight that could be a candidate for fight of the night, but I just think, you know, just the way that these two guys have moved up the ranks in the lightweight division and the incredible win streaks that they were on, I could see this fight ending early. Melvin the Young Assassin Gillard going up against Jim Miller. This is truly a redemption fight for Melvin Gillard. I think Melvin Gillard really needs to gain everybody's love back in the front office of the UFC, aka Dana White and the Fertittas and Joe Silva, because last fight Melvin Gillard got straight embarrassed. And I saw a little headline on I think it was MMA Junkie or MMA Fighting, where he said, you know, he really didn't lose that fight, you know, it was kind of a humbling experience. Well, sorry, but reality check, Melvin, you lost the fight. You came in overconfident, you underestimated your opponent, and you paid for it. So just deal with it. Don't let your ego overshadow, you know, your honesty. You know, the bottom line is you just got beat. And that's the end of that. So basically, Melvin Gillard really needs to rebound here and get himself back in the mix, so to speak, of the lightweight division. And this is going to be a real tough task to do it. Jim Miller, much like Melvin was on a good win streak, was a considered contender for the lightweight title, but got halted momentarily by Ben Henderson, which nobody saw coming, including me. So I think both guys are at a crossroads here, and I think both guys want to get back in you know, the contender circle. And I think both guys want to win impressively. As far as I think who's going to win and how the fight's going to turn out, I think that Jim Miller is going to want to look to submit Melvin Gillard. That's an easy question to ask. And Melvin Gillard is going to want to look to knock him out. So, I mean, there's really no secret here. So, basically, I think that Jim Miller needs to go right after Melvin Gillard from the start of the bell, put the pressure on him like he's always known for doing, and take Melvin Gillard down and submit this guy. I do not think standing up with Melvin Gillard is a good idea here. Gillard is explosively quick and can hit you with any shot from anywhere, and you know, his fists are just like bombs, and if they land, you will be done. So I think that Miller needs to take this guy down. Melvin Gillard and Jiu-Jitsu do not get along with each other, and I think Jim Miller knows that, and I think that he's going to take advantage of that and exploit that. I don't think he's going to be dumb enough to stand up with a powerful and explosive striker like Gillard is. So I'm going to go with Jim Miller. I'll say late third round submission. But one thing that I will say, and I know I'm going over here, but I don't care. One thing I will say, if Jim Miller does not and I repeat, does not take this guy down, at least within the first 5 seconds of the fight, he will lose. If he stands up on the feet for more than 5 seconds, Melvin Guillard will knock this guy out. Period. So if Miller expects to win the fight, I'd say after those 5 seconds of feeling Guillard out on the feet, take him down and look for a submission. Bottom line. And control him. Another thing. If he takes Guillard down, control him. Because Melvin is very good at scrambling and sweeping and getting back to his feet. So Miller needs to take this guy down instantly. Because if he gives Guillard any time to get his rhythm going and set his feet in the pocket, he will get his lights put out, pretty much. But I think Miller can pull it off, and I think he's going to be able to submit Guillard. So I'm going to go with Jim Miller by submission, like I said. I mean, the last fight I picked with Melvin Guillard against Joe Lauzon, I thought Guillard was going to go out there and handle business, but he got overconfident. So just judging from that fight, that kind of lost a little bit of my trust in Guillard. So hopefully, with this fight, he probably might come out and knock Jim Miller out impressively and regain my trust back, but we'll see. But anyway, that's my predictions. Hopefully y'all enjoy the fights on Friday. Y'all should enjoy the fights anyway. It's free, number one, and number two, it's on a Friday night. I mean, how good is that? MMA on a Friday night. Unbelievable. But anyway, that's it for me, and I'm gone.